4 more days of winter. Many years of hot chlorine. Fine orb. Although, since this is producing gas, not the strongest source of heat, chlorine is actually a very good insulator. 0.008. That's way down there. Maybe instead of vacuum insulation, we do chlorine insulation. That'll be plenty good at restricting the movement of heat across it. Yeah, better than carbon, better than oxygen, definitely better than hydrogen. Hydrogen's a kind of good thermal medium as gases go. And that has the added effect of being a sanitizer for anything that I have moved through the layer. As long as I appropriately engineer it so that it traps the chlorine and keeps out other materials. Yeah. We're here in the ant farm. The game's afoot. Wood is online. Wood processing is getting migrated to a new facility that won't constantly drown the rest of the base in miasma. Although, in starting the planning for this, a lesson in externalities, actually. Where one might recall, so our setup of a petrol generator burning ethanol. Half of its power needs to be spent running the distillers to make the fuel in the first place. And you think, alright, that's still a net kilowatt. But the exhaust handling, actually. When you actually make yourself go through the full process of dealing with all the waste product, that changes things quite a bit. Well, we actually need more stank water actively, so that part of this is no concern. Sewage is an asset to the facility. Then, so these two pumps that are intended to grab the exhaust, then drag it over to this carbon skimmer to be destroyed. That all adds up. One of the considerations I've had on the side here is if instead of using pumps and vents at all for that part of this, to instead just open up a channel here and have the exhaust get pushed in passively by the sheer pressure that we know this generator is going to create. Yeah, so if I have like airflow tile down at the base here, and then knowingly open up a conduit, say, to over here. Punching another hole in the abyssalite, but that's fine. The abyssalite is already... There's a very thick layer here that's going to do its job. Regardless. Yeah, so if I do that, and then the exhaust will just passively fall in and go to the skimmers. That saves a bunch of watts. Yeah. Makes sense. Also on the note of said beeps and boops. Well, first, aside, patches have been ongoing since release. And good decisions are being made in those patches. Like this UI improvement here of useful data when you point at a wire. Things you wanted to know. There they are. So anyway, additionally on that front,
Beep.
I had thought about how I can make these accomplish what I've wanted them to in the past. Of prioritizing the life support system, but also offloading extra power onto the mains when such is available. And it starts with a smart battery. Down here on the life support circuit. Then a couple of automated shutoffs and an inverter. Yeah, so an auto switch, say here? Well, so there's a bunch of changes to the wiring that would need to happen. Because the conductive wire or yeah, I could make this work with a smaller amount of stuff. Okay, so one switch, reroute this wire so that it goes through that shutoff. That shutoff is reading off of this smart battery. Then, over here, a big transformer that can handle the 1600 watts of power. And another shutoff. Up there. Conductive bridge. Conductive wire through that. And I'm running low on fancy metal, as usual. As normal for the current state of things. Once energy is back. Or I do have a bunch of ore around. I could try to fire up the foundry and let it do its job. All iron is reserved for steel. That much seems obvious. Or, okay, these are allowed to just float on the wall. They don't need somewhere to sit. That could bode well. So, smart battery there. And an inverter between the, our two friends here. So I'll configure the battery such that when life support is low on power, when life support is not fully charged, these switch appropriately and feed their power directly to life support. Once life support is charged up, they invert and instead feed out onto the main. Which does loop back around into life support by way of transformers. Yes, yes, yes. So that remains all well and good. Although, yeah, one regular transformer is actually a bottleneck on that now. It would need a large, it should be upgraded to a large in order to handle the amount of current that lives down here. The smart setup here will also accommodate this. Okay, so smart battery here. Yeah, we'll put red one full and send green one low. Yeah, and so that will fall then. On green, this is open. Well, this is active, and this is open. Shut, open, live, dead. And then, once it switches over to charged, they will flop the other way. Through this solid gold data cable. Yes. Correct. Life support battery is charged, so open, shut. Hydrogen generators are now going on to the main. Which means they are digging into the backlog of hydrogen that briefly existed. That's now properly being burned off. Dog. Ongoing effort to defeat this block of ice. Ah, we do have a new foothold. Move this gold amalgam heater right back into the heart of things. Just 3 more days. Now that water is abundant, I can bear to drill through ice elsewhere. Sometimes. Sparingly. That rich chlorine. Crap. Yeah, we haven't really dipped into the steam water at all. Still a few shortcomings in current supplies. Abe remains aware. We'll manage. So much of this carbon has been defeated. Outer carbon we're going to sweep up when we open these pumps down here. In order to evacuate the whole outer layer, and then replenish it with nutritious chlorine. I guess fried mush is back on the menu. I mean, with water abundant now, ish. And yeah, dirt is also being actively manufactured by way of the wood. Yeah. Fried gunk can be a staple food in this base. That's permissible. Insufficient combustible liquid. You sure about that? Ethanol canister, why aren't you emptying? There's goo right there. Take it. Light it. Yeah, you've got green signals from your batteries. There shouldn't be need of a bridge. This pipe exists. It's real. It's entirely successful in moving goo from this tank to this generator before. Mysterious. Also, now that I do have some supply of refined metal, there is a thing we can do. So the auto shutoffs here cost 10 watts, and element sensors for pipes cost none watts to operate. Put the two of those side by side and you have a much better filter than the liquid filter building. You suddenly save a lot of power. Yeah, so if I took these vents, and there's a setup you do where you create a small loop that your substance idles in. So just kind of go find a blank canvas to sketch on for a moment for here. So you would do like one of those with material coming in from somewhere. And then for as many outputs as you're trying to filter, a shut off and a matching. Alright, you need space separate from them for the element sensor. You need exactly one additional tile. Yeah, so it's something like you put a sensor there and then a shut off right here. So the packet will pass by, this will beep, open that nozzle, and then it will be immediately grabbed and shipped off. And if the next packet is invalid, it will counter beep and close the nozzle. And so you in turn extend that out to whatever size you need in order to handle how much sorting you're intending to do for 10 watts per output material instead of 120 watts. It's quite strong. It's going to greatly improve the margins on our electrolyzer. So then let's see, the way I have the vents coming in now, I would want to go, yeah, sensor, had to shut off right here. And yeah, if any residue gets into this line, I just want it sent up through the life support tubes anyway. So that suffices for this. Don't even need the idler loop. Well, I would use the idler loop in order to enforce that I'm only letting the gases I want escape from the setup. If I had, like, a bridge back down over here. A second sensor, a second shutoff valve. All right, think this out on some empty space. So, what I have up there so far is a bend like that. Sensor and a valve. I then have another sensor and another valve. And then just a regular dumb valve to enforce flow direction. And my input arrives there. Yeah. That should function. And should fit in the space that I've provided here. So, input tubes, take a step out. There's plenty of oxygen floating around inside the base. It'd be reasonable to get somebody down here to start work on this. Alright, so that one's been cut. And I want... yeah, that and this. Element sensors. There, and I'll have to open up this floor tile. Which is fine? Yeah, that's fine. And yes, doing open heart surgery on the life support system, that's worth a yellow alert. Sensor there, element sensor there. Wired up. Thus was. Shut off valve pointed over. This ladder needs to move. That should still be usable. They can hop that. Yeah, stuff comes in, does the loop, leads off as appropriate, comes in, does the loop, leads as appropriate. Yeah, that's all still navigable to them. And the pipes are good and full and ready. Okay, small problem that's going to happen because the sensors and the filters don't exist yet. Minor damage to the generator will occur. First sensor on hydrogen, second sensor on oxygen. Is that still not quite doing as it should? Okay, yeah, now it's living. Now it's functioning. Yes, filter achieved. Need to extend this wire to service those two. Constant beeping. Yeah, some slight damage to the generators for mismatched inputs. They're fine. This is the sound of life support. Hey. Hey, hold on, though. That's you doing the wrong thing. There must be some further step I need to take in order to compress this and make it a strict filter. For a moment there, it seemed to be doing the right job. Oh, is this one still wrong? There's a problem. There. All right. The operation was a complete success. The new filter. For like a 12th the power. A 6th the power. It's 2 shut-offs on each instead of 1 filter machine. A complete success. Only minor bleeding. Amium all over here. The Thimbleweed is almost alive. Temperatures inside the swamp chamber have been steadily rising. And that leaves this notch over here to get converted into something to be determined. Or it could just be left as unworked space for the moment. If I add anything to the electrolyzer, we'll sprawl out into here. This space is waiting to be put to use. That's good volume. It is appreciably relaxing. Good times, creating space problems. Yeah, filter's working good. And so, all future implementations of this, all these pumps that I'm using to de-stank the corridors here, clean out the miasma, yeah, those should be using different filtering tech. Stronger filtering tech. Creep. So I also need to power up this carbon skimmer. For which I am kind of boxed in a little bit for space. Unless, now that I have this platform here pre-created, Yeah, we'll just put a transformer here, and then I will run a cable down through the vent, and that will power the second skimmer array. Yeah. That'll let that be done with regular wire. Perfect. Yeah, the slightest bit of oxygen gets diverted into this corridor for now. Soon. There we go. Generator's up and doing as it should. The container wants something connected to its input, even if it's receiving nothing. That was the problem. That's what had it jammed up. Now we can just roast off the rest of that ethanol, and everything will be fine. I think part of what happens to this entire deal, once we're able to remove the old petrol generator, well, this old inner insulation wall comes down the moment the outer shell is complete. And this old 2-tile service corridor is going to be torn open. The roof is moving up. Yeah, pretty productive winter. Much was accomplished. On that note, yeah, I can very easily install a new low-cost liquid filter. It's by way of one of you and one of you. Okay, put this back here. And then pipe from it just runs directly over to this handy sewage port. Just in case. That'll handle any stank water that is existing on the main line. Some steel. Yeah, go ahead and pull all the CO2 out of here while you're at it. And we can start disassembly of this whole deal. The plan was 3 tiles of height up here is becoming the kitchen. Temporary power shortage for exactly as long as it will take to get natural gas back online. Somebody hit that switch. Summer is here. The alarm of seasons. Yep, taking out the exhaust. And we are live. This should be fine. Yeah, if there's any oxygen shortfall, it's definitely just residue from the production. All right, methane's back. Tear it down. I'll leave that that oxygen pipe in there for now. Just out of not yet determining exactly what this is going to be, only that it is indoors. That's actually pretty easy to string together here what its overtime output is, accounting for the eruptions. It's 291 seconds of uptime at 373.7, you know, 43D3. But then divide that over the eruption cycle rather than the eruption duration. This is 186 grams per second average continuous output during the season. Well, you know, after the skill scrubbing, only 2 dupes left with formal exosuit training. Yeah, Bert, Rowan. Everyone else had their suit knowledge scrubbed clean for stress management. Though quite a few folks could break back into it. Just had to step away a moment. Base carries on without me. It is weird to hear this at speed 1. Everything in this is, you know, very rhythmic. Absolutely created with that music in mind. So much time at speed 2, though. That does seem like it's the more natural tempo for everything. Wound up in the situation where I don't have enough sewage. I need more stench water. The wood farm is drawing it in. I need to get this whole workflow back online. I guess this is a reason that I could stop using recycled water in the washroom, since I actually actively have a use for the wastewater. And have a source of new fresh water. Could cut off this cycle and let the bathrooms run on new water all the time. I'll leave the machine there, just in case. Yeah, we just shut that off and let the stench flow. It's got work to do. Gotta move these coal generators. Coal still absolutely has a place in our power setup, and it will be situated somewhere around here for proximity to the hatch. New floor at this level. Well, shaving back this to go out to the outer insulation. Because, yeah, I got a 3-tile room there for the kitchen. Dining hall will be this whole expanse, however I manage to put it to use. Good work, Space Heater. Quick thinking. Absolute thermodynamic genius, that Space Heater. Skim out this whole layer. Editor and, you know, all of this as well. The whole old petrol setup gets to fall down. Priority 6 job, all of this. Priority 7 job, installing the new petrol generator. And all its accoutrements. This lamp is canceled. So as this scoots up, this space here, that becomes somewhere I could situate a pair of coal generators. Or I'm gonna reclaim this entire expanse here. Main power cable might slide up a bit as a result of that. You know, I won't fault them for being productive. That's the best job they have available, then just let them go for it. Alright. Unfortunately, something has begun to come up. We'll need to interrupt this session. Possibly see about continuing it deeper into the night. Or if not that, on another day. We're back in the season. Important technical beeping has occurred. Why have you done this, Josh? The bathroom is open. It's active and online. The hell is all this? Oh, that's a handy overlay. Just plant status. Detailed breakdown. Neat. Okay, a bunch of stuff got erroneously canceled. That whole thing of holding a button during quick save, I guess? That bug is still there for the time being. Be careful about that. Anyway, pursuit of further mysteries. Another time. Okay, back to it. I'll probably just splice these together after the fact into one video for re-upload. But oh yeah, back. Summer is on. The geysers up. There is some power. Good times at the ant farm. Beeps. Available on request. And we're starting to generate a little bit of additional metal. And yeah, I'm allowing sewage to go untreated because I now have use for sewage in and of itself. For the wood farm and as coolant. And we have enough water. Yes, just that moment installed this. This new, better water filter via the new tech. Which, let's see how much power is on this wire. Up to 960, really? Oh yeah, the suit forge is very power intensive, right? Right. It's fine, though. Works out perfectly. Yes, all the wood chambers are up to temperature. The reed fiber is almost alive. It's just on the verge of defrosting. And reassembly of the petrol generator. The wood forge is well underway. Good times had by all, yeah, especially since once the reed fiber is moving again, I can build more exosuits and install more exosuits. Right, now what? Let me throw in a gas bridge here. And redirect this oxygen flow. Prioritize charging that suit dock. And cut this length of the pipe. That way work can resume over here. Beeps! It's a fine set of mechanisms. Constant beeping and clanking. These are the production noises. That means the machine is doing its job. And as that all settles into place, let's see, this suit dock is staying charged? Yeah, good. There is one more geyser location that we should definitely probe. See what's going on in there. This slightly warm band that is short and wide. So that could be, you know, another this form, or it could be other things. Could be anything. Probably approach it from above with that in mind. Encased in granite, you're in a rust biome. Yeah, just a little elbow like that. And reprioritize this whole border ladder. Now that exosuits are kind of real, the perimeter is worth investing in. All the way down. That is also job 6. Printer, what you got? Yeah! Sheep egg! I can probably orchestrate a sheep habitat at, say, the former location of the ethanol plant. Yeah. Create some 8x12 vertically accessed rooms with hydrogen in. Don't have any pepper plant. Could warm a place up enough to get meal wood on the floor, though. Or smooth Draco. The polymer sheep. Yeah, a while before the eggs hatch anyway. Especially with them sitting on the floor. I'll install a separate electrolyzer over here to generate the hydrogen for that habitat, since it just needs to be released into it and then stay there. How does a planter box lack resources? Farms that got unharvested. Weird. Yes, the coal plants are moving up a smidge into about that area. Let's think about sheep. The insulation's doing a pretty good job of holding back the surrounding temperatures. Always good to see. Much of the hallway miasma has been drained. Enough so that I can disassemble this installation again. Yeah, we're dealing with the source of that carbon. This whole area is waiting to repressurize. More so than, like, yeah, be cleaned out. The carbon that is here is quite thin. There we go, some healthy margins on the smart battery there. Our governor for operating the petrol generator. Frankie is on vacation. Frankie is successfully de-stressed. Frankie gets back to work. Oh, another UI thing that was added. The schedule now notes where the Night Owl and Early Bird bonuses show up, and reminds you who has them on the schedule page. You can plan accordingly. Abe needs time off. Yeah, apparently Early Bird spans more hours. It's weird. Alright, ethanol starting to flow. Come on, let's bring this machine back to life. Need that stench water. Water, what are you doing? Are you being held back by air pressure? Is this carbon bullying you, stank water? So viscous. Oh, the tiny smidgen of clean water is also interfering. The contamination in the contaminated water. Contaminated with clean water. Terrible. You hate to see it. Yeah, so let's see. Sheep habitat. Yay tall. Yay wide. So mark off that there's gonna be a wall here. Or rather that there's gonna be a door there. And some wall here. Some airflow wall. And I will straight up install an electrolyzer in this room, since I also need to warm it up a bunch to get ready for that. So we'll set up a water valve here so I can do a controlled filling of that space conveniently. I have that liquid bridge. Yeah. Things are still mostly above freezing here. Insufficient combustible liquid for now. There. Generator lives, once again. Ethanol's back in business. And all this carbon should be willing to fall through the airflow tile. Or no, the liquid. The liquid in this narrow junction is forming a natural airlock. Devious. And I just need to pop that. Once the pump is online, that'll sort itself out. Could also widen this up to prevent that. It vents properly while it's idle. Yeah, the carbon is going to move down here and hit the skimmers, and then that'll be the end of it. You know, as long as someone hooks up this wire. And as long as I feed in even a little bit of fluid to get it started. Right, also, so, sheep enclosure, the floors will be farm tile. That we can graze. I don't know how much floor you need per sheep. Suppose that's to be determined. Okay. Petrol generator largely online. So next project to tag is our renewal project here. Can tone down operating priority. Bert and Travaldo. Yeah, there we go. Just even them out a bit. Give them other tasks they like. Yeah, to give everyone a little bit of construction priority. During the summer, there is energy to spare. And I can go ahead and retrofit this into the smarter system. And furthermore, make it so I don't need to manually reactivate the pump. Have it just crunch whenever it tastes fuel. Removing the need for this entirely. The only gas in here is supposed to be natural gas. Oxygen did get in again somehow. This edge might not be airtight, since it is the natural corner of the neutronium. Which, if that's the case, I could fix by backing this off, removing that, and wrapping more tile around. Get that proper seal. Dog eggs. I'll take a lamp. I think I can decommission this suit dock. There's not much in the way of hazardous material in this direction anymore. Jump some wire up there in order to get that started. And I don't open that up till I'm ready to receive, so I make sure that water doesn't idle somewhere too cold. Sewage supply holding up better? Maybe. Slight contamination. Hey, how'd this clean get in here? What is this garbage? Somebody extract. This. This is completely unwelcome. Clean water in my sewage line. Unthinkable. Heinous. Okay, a thimble reed successfully cycled. Tiny amounts of cloth are back in circulation. Petroleum needs to be built into the jet suit. Wild. As it stands, aluminum, I'm predisposed to that for my exosuit material. Yeah, carbon comes in, gets whooshed. Gets naturally load balanced across all of the skimmers. Smack an airlock here. Make this into a sealed, life-supported area. But still accessible by foot if necessary. Through the industry zone. Okay, a lot of the work has gotten done. So, let's see what we got here. Several floor tile. One airlock. I should actually move this electrolyzer a little bit. Well, I'll dismantle it after, yeah, the assembly is done. How wide does this one go? Just out into the ice. Just exactly grazing the ice. Guess I'm closing this footpath. Well, I'm modifying this footpath. The footpath will be down here now. Does it lift that up? The roof is the footpath. I just do need nice insulated enclosure in which to house sheep. They'll leave that open. I can climb up around through here onto the top of this. Get access to the roof of the sheep enclosure. Carve it out accordingly. Yeah, received a few trace blorps of water. And we'll open it up to more once it's time to actually fill this thing. Once the roof is built. This is the correct size for 2 stables. Ish. I'll need to add some space for some reasons. And let's see, yeah, these air vents need to come way down. Just provide the thinnest layer of oxygen down on the floor. Yeah, I'll need to adjust the volume slightly. In order to make some accommodations here. Or this will be one long sheep habitat. 4 by 24 would be correct? Yes. And then if I do a second, it would be on top of that. I probably just need the one sheep house. Cancel that. These. Because I need space for all the farm buildings, but then also for the grazing plants. Yeah, so stop there. Burrow out that much of the ice. Tear down and rebuild as needed. So this no longer needs to be here even. Gonna do a strip of grazing tile. My animal operating stations, which I suppose... Yeah, I'll take down this electrolyzer and move it over just the complete opposite end of the room. Put the drop off at the back. Grooming and shearing stations will be over here. And I should have an active incubator, which can also live over here. At the back. take off that old branch of the sewer pipe. I'll hollow out the space anyway. It can be put to good use. And it will help insulate by just having some air gap. They make a good time. So, stations. Oh, the shearing station is larger. So I need some extra footprint for that. Move the door over a step. This second air vent doesn't even need to be here. It's the one by the door. Yeah, that leaves space for the incubator to sit. And then the grooming station belongs right there. After this round of deconstruction is finished. And all of these are set to don't harvest. That is the purpose of non-harvesting a plant. Finally here. Stress is clearing up. Abe goes back to work. Wood production is mostly held back by the need to replenish our swamp water, which is in progress. Yeah, we fixed the flow problem in here. So much ice is thawing. Good times. So much of the base is above freezing. It's astounding. Look at that. Look at that insulated building kept warm via technology. Amazing how that works out. And so my auto system here. Have an Atmos sensor 2 tiles down. And an inverter. This will check for hydrogen. If there is no hydrogen on this line of the room, the electrolyzer will go. Now we have our bypass for accessing the roof, so all this ladder can come down. Because we do also have to regulate the climate here. Very carefully. If I want comfortable Draco, they'd rather be at 35. But that meal would. Falls dormant at 30. Which means I might settle for uncomfortable Draco. That's a terrible thought. Oh wait, this is a pressure sensor, not a element sensor. I want one of these in this spot. Or in this spot. Either or. These things happen. Cool move, Devin. That's some high-level technique you got there. Top of the line. Technically, we haven't seen the Draco anywhere yet. They don't exist. We made it up. Let's get some granite drywall in there to help this room retain temperature. And now I guess I sneak a heater in here somewhere. After the electrolyzer has done its work, I can put a space heater in its place. No assumption is needed. We already have the eggs. We printed a couple of eggs. Cheap is known technology. Ah, this is where the impurities are getting in. It's clean water, stanking things up down here. That's smuggling clean water into my perfectly good sewage irrigation system. Alright, so what is the minimum livable temperature for Draco? They die at 15. So I need to achieve at least that in this room, which should happen pretty quickly with the electrolyzer on. Printer up. No, I'll take some roots. It's a relevant amount of food matter. Space farm as well. Alright, so air pressure in here still gets very high. And things are weirdly cold. These don't heat their exhaust very much, it seems. Let me snap down a preheater here just to protect that water. Some reeds are alive. A wonderful thing. Yeah, we'll make our way down and snap this open and see what it is. This base could really use a volcano. Go ahead and refresh these. The egg is underway. Just need this seal confirmed on the roof. Someone build the tile. Those can be normal. Okay. Roof is secure. Attach the pipe, then open the pipe. Then we'll see about getting that place warmed up. What stronger decorations do I have? Large block is too tall. Metal block is too tall. Marble block is quite wide. Put some paintings. Basic paintings. Art in some rooms. Art, you know, just in airlocks, in hallways. Carpets. Now that reed fiber exists, I could put carpeting in some rooms. Yeah. There's a scheme. Yeah, I want to be able to at least reclaim this corner. So I can make that an entrance to the kitchen there that stays inside this building. I want to keep this roof sealed. Avoid any future overhead miasma from dropping in on the main habitation building. Yeah, so let's spew bunch of hydrogen into here. Where the extra oxygen will seep on out the door. Leave this door open while we're preparing the chamber. Yeah. And this should all be insulated as well. Well, there's a problem. Let's have a backup foot wheel. And also get this to happen. The main warmed portion of the base, plainly visible on the thermal map. Good times. Just make sure this happens, beyond immediately. Stuff related to the health of the power system, also important. And remove that vent. That vent is now wrong. It's wasting valuable gas. There we go. A little bit of backflow. Fixing that can just be priority 9. It happens. There we go. Just saved a bunch of watts. As long as there's at least 500 grams of gas in the area, have at them. Keep the pump working efficiently. How we doing for material? Slowly accumulating that hydrogen. Some of it's keeping in here. Oh yeah, the rest of this is less interesting. That vent, though. Now there's a mystery worth looking into. Kind of spicy air pressure here in the chamber. We'll put in an airlock. Try to force all of this to move in the right direction. Although it's even higher pressure down here, so I guess it is working? Just taking a while to waft out far enough to be engaging all of these skimmers. And okay, half of them are blocked. Hold up. Close this. I overburdened this setup. Gotta give it a little relief. The barest wiggle room. Oh, except now I need to get the power in there some-wise. Yeah, where does my joining plate go? If not through a door, then... Ooh. That works. It's allowed to bump into buildings. Yeah, so there. And take out that. Although, what would I put on display? On a pedestal? Canisters of liquid. Launch. Chunks of material. How about just a single triangle of sandstone? That's nice and handsome. Sheep. Do need to reinstate coal power. This kilowatt was really helping out. Really should live closer to where the skimmers are. Probably? How well would a pair of these just slam into the industrial building? Perfectly. Just a bit of a trek to bring the coal down here. That can all be arranged. So much damp wandering around. Hey, Oxifern. You can survive near freezing temperatures. Exactly above freezing temperatures. Maybe I plug a couple of you in here. Maybe I have one of you live in carbon hell. Well, no, then would need regular deliveries of, unless I automate it with hydroponics. Too big. This miscellaneous room needed to stop here. It's exactly one row too long. Or I add some ceiling tile to the corners. Or some non-ceiling tile to the middle. I just need to remove 4 points of volume from the room. And I suppose this battery's smart wire can go ahead and extend this. And just have it also throttle back the coal burners in the event of a power surplus overall. That'll work. Hot water erupts again tomorrow. The other side of summer. with some slight adjustments. Yeah, and I put some wall here, vent here, and then that becomes my hand pump for accessing small amounts of clean water. For the few things that demand personal delivery of clean water. Just to elevate all of this, we can try to get a little closer. Leaps. Always good to see it. Yeah, the skimmers are operating now. I've given them some wiggle room. Which means they're properly biting into the miasma. That has kind of reduced the air pressure a little. Not much. There's still a lot of stank up here. Can open this door and let some of it waft down through the factory. Good, this is now officially a ranch. That much is settled. And keep storage bin nearby full of dirt. See if we can get this up to survival temperatures. Yeah, actually clamp down the flow on that imported gas vent then. We're trying to get the hydrogen in here a little bit at a time. It is accumulating a bit, and it holds heat well. These are moving properly. Ish. That should help. I will put the 2 oxyfern over here. They'll get to work slowly destroying this carbon. Also, finally, art. Sitting around. One art. $400 tons of dirt. Got a healthy supply. Alright, Suit Forge. Are you still not ready yet? We're waiting on more reed fiber. 3 whole thimble reed are awake. On the verge of having all manner of swamp cloth. Yeah, this ice is going to drip down into this tunnel for a while. And the hot water is active. Away it goes. Oh, I should open up this valve more. That we have a bit of a supply coming in. Nearly finished growing that sheep. It's going to be way too cold in here for that sheep to survive. If there's any hydrogen, that's probably good enough. Let's get the heater. Yeah, gold amalgam. We need the full service here. Where also, yeah, this doesn't need to be governed by an atmosphere sensor, but by a thermostat. Sheep alarm in place. Hey, who has 71 stress? It's Abe. Hey, Abe. Don't. Try not. That bird. Pop your drums. Folks have been exposed to the high pressure zone. Kilograms of steel. Yeah, if this room had been made tall, it might have been feasible to keep the upper reaches warm and the lower reaches colder a bit. With semantics. Nice. Abe's gonna be okay. The atmosphere in here is oxygen. In the pressure ranges you like. There's water. Right, the atmosphere complaint that means there is not an atmosphere, but instead garbage in the way. Somebody sweep that. Somebody create a bin for ice down here. Boring closer and closer to the neutrons. Nails is keeping on it. Any day now we'll break through. I need someone whose highest priority is tidying. That's Bubbles. Bubbles knows all about plumbing. And thus mopping. I'm surprised these aren't really warming up at all. Guess the one at the bottom here, that a full -5. Well, this whole area in general is warmer below than above. Sheep. Hey. Get back in the pen. Sheep alert. Shut that door. Sheep, you stay close to the thing. It will take a while to heat up this room properly. Especially with these chunks of ice in here still. Sweep that. Just take this ice boulder and get it out of here. Yeah, we bit off a piece of this iceberg while building this room. Excellent progress assembling the big shell. Seven kilograms of air pressure in the distillery. Brutal. Gotta get those pipes repaired. Oh, this being inconvenienced by the fact that these ones get more carbon than this one. That's creating some imbalance. the downside of the passive wafting. We'll just keep adjusting things until something lines up right. Move that over, and then eventually, someday, when we manage to pull a little bit of volume out of here, we can bring this wall down, bring this wall out. Well, the moment this is mopped, I can finish this last arboretum. That's already an option. You alright, sheep? Sheep remains healthy. Although that's because it's still wild. No one has attempted to domesticate it. Do I only have the one rancher in the current setup? Yeah. Just Nicola, expecting to tend all of our animals. Might need an apprentice. Abe can afford to ranch. Yeah, and Frankie can afford to ranch. Well, no, Frankie can't afford anything. Frankie is already terribly overstressed. Frankie can afford to ranch part-time. Frankie will just also need vacations. Or I extend the general downtime a little stronger. What if I let them bathe before and after sleeping? Double the hygiene. How did this happen? Non-button became button, except not? Weird. Just input things. Alright, so if I can get this finally mopped out of the way, then I can open this door. Open that door, close that wall, end this ladder. Yeah, take out that ladder, put in... Well, this is now an unallocated room that could do anything. There is a vacancy at the main base for some kind of facility. Struggle to grow even a single meal wood. We'll get there. Somebody wrangle that. Sheep alert. Unallocated sheep. On the prowl. There's a lot of mopping to do. Always more mopping. This wall can stay up for some time. One small hatch. Let's let wander around, since we are at capacity. Or I could cull a bit. Yeah, sage, no. Stone or standard. This is a Stein Ranch. Schedule the barbecue. We've released a lot of swamp air, by exposing the slime over here. Which is largely harmless here on Cold Planet. Alright. Devin has reached the investigative checkpoint. Door is in place. Alright. Next, extreme priority build job, correcting this mistake. Make that look nice and proper. It's time to remove some legacy jank from the architecture. You know, the highest cause of all design.
Beep.
We've successfully shorn sheep. Yes, 9 fiber. Now, if only we could grow them any food. Bring ice to the damp, to the heat. Really, I should throw ice cubes like directly into the steam chamber. That'd be the place for them. Give them a platform somewhere and let them dissolve. Let them break down. That means I can throw together another Atmos suit or two. And a sweater. Have I considered using automated shipping eventually? We get there in time. Alright. Full potential for trees. And with that, I also get to open up this column for ease of access from residents directly down into engineering. So by opening this up, should then in turn be able to push all of this water out of there. Yeah, first by building like so, and then by building the next layer behind them, and then disassemble from beyond, and this whole column will be ready for business. These make a good cleanup squad for places that have been overrun by carbon. Install the oxyfern and just wait, and they'll get to it. Slowly getting there. And actually, yeah. Let's get here. Time to solve the mystery. Learn more about our surroundings. Still seeing most of the same biomes in all directions, which we haven't gone very far beyond the shell, so that's understandable. Once the shell is entrenched, and alongside that, I think most of the internal engineering problems of the base are satisfactory. We've nearly defeated the upper ice. Sheep are known technology, sort of. Eventually, we'll finish the shell, pull all the CO2 and other residue out of it, and then fill it with chlorine. And pick out some spots to be our official bridge points out of the shell into the rest of the planet. Intriguing. This used to be encased in ice, and we've defrosted the ice. Now there's a nice table. made of neutronium. It's a very nice table. Yes, we got bits of temperate biome, from which we could extract more copper. When the time arises. That'll be the other thing. Once the shell is in place, start think of everything outside as somewhere that is, you know, outside and somewhere where we siphon resource. We go out to get specific things, to bring them inside and process them. In here is where things happen. I suppose we also have a bit of a timer, though, as far as this ice. Now that we've cut it off from the geyser, it's not kept as absolutely scalding, as near boiling as the geyser proper. That cool steam. Or has been having trouble making it back inside. Because it's part of what'll make the argument for installing robots. Alright, so that damp is runoff from this stench ice as it thaws. Pretty natural state of affairs. Alright, there's enough hydrogen that the Draco are successfully regrowing their furs. That's good. But we still haven't successfully defrosted any of these plants. Probably a matter of background buildings. Yeah, let me install conductive plate instead of drywall back here. Priority 8. And yeah, no one ever has to harvest these. Just keep them fed. I did hear the printer rev up. Just gonna follow this as it happens. Aluminum. Yes. Helpful. Yeah, let me rearrange this vent as well. Let the suit dock take priority for what air does make its way up here. And on that note, why not let those merge? The left air channel sees a lot of demand. As one might expect. They'll figure it out. And yeah, I do have enough metal kicking around that I can do things like this without worrying about it, really. Move the thermostat over here. That's properly reading the temperature has made it all the way over to the far side of the conductive plate. Then if we set that 1 to 20, that should accomplish sheep habitat. How have I run out of coal? So completely. Hatch. Try to keep up. Plenty of hatch food around. And I spent a while not even operating the coal generators. There should have been a coal backlog. Socializing. Art. Manages to do nothing against the massive decor pit that is heavy electrical cable. So it goes. More of this clean water contamination. Sabotaging our swamp farm. It's terrible. And all of these orders become useless the moment that the instead of targeting a specific cell, well, instead of targeting a packet, they target a spot of pipe. I'll keep on it. Just reach in there and manually remove every grain of water. That contamination all came from clean water here dripping down from the aftermath of the, from the ongoing battle against the ice. There's the problem. Just bust it up then. No more toying around with the size. Destroy it. Lock this door. That will prevent further flooding. And the rest should follow from there. How is that an unreachable build? It's under an airlock that's open. How is that not permissible? It's right there. You open a door and you open a door and then there you are. Use some of this nearby obsidian, then maybe that'll do it. No, it's still unreachable, not... Why, dupes? What? You have a route to this, dupes. You get in the suit. And now it's reachable. They did not understand open the door and then do the thing. Didn't understand building from the open door. Yes, deliver all ice mass to the storage bins at the bottom of the scalding pit. Let's go. Do not bring weapons. The cleaner way to do this would be to install like a filter and a loop. Scrape all the clean water back out of there. Okay, the ladder exists. Now exploration can follow. We can probe that mystery. Could start planning the new dining room. Water cooler at former site of cool water. Move the big wire out. I can properly seal that up. So you know it's an extremely upscale establishment, that there is both light and heat. Adjust that up accordingly. light, heat, and breathable atmosphere. The height of luxury. Yes, keep sending steel. We'll print all the steel you give. Still haven't managed to thaw any of these plants. Alright, these guys also create phosphor. We'll be able to make our own fertilizer. This is accumulating. This is making itself a concern. Or an opportunity. We can make our own fertilizer. Alright, we have contact. Have some brave soul. Dive in there and see what it is. What element are we adding to the portfolio? It's a weapon to surpass warm chlorine. Nails will solve the mystery. Tomorrow. This art isn't helping where it's hung right now, so we'll just have to relocate it. Ren will solve the mystery. Ren. Ren, why did you come out here? To dig. You knew you'd have chefing to do. we got 4 Atmos suits laying around. I could also add another checkpoint here. Well, another suit dock here. Alright, nails will solve the mystery. Finally, even more ice. It's pure ice. This is where it comes from. The source of all ice. Somebody probe that. Give me that ice data. Emits cold sewage. It's perfect. It's exactly what we needed. Pure swamp. All natural. Alright, that's all the geysers we know about in our vicinity. At a pretty firm footing for the base. Several parts of it are warm enough to function. The dupes still... they're not quite freezing at night anymore, just chilled. General temperature of the interior is improving over time. I started like proactively circulating some kind of heat exchange medium around the geyser to pull warmth up to habitation. That would probably be polite. Alright, yeah, now you get to work. You have meal wood to thaw. Gotta feed these sheep. These and other tasks. Next time? I can turn the atmosphere back on here. Just a little. Just enough to keep the hydrogen up against the ceiling where it belongs. Don't want it drifting out. That warm chlorine. Limitless possibilities. Need to arrange for more oxygen to get up here, which, yeah. This vent will do that. Next time. More cold base. And probably some exploratory tunnels. Go looking for more landscape. The core of the facility is online and stable adjacent.